There comes a moment when a woman realizes that love is not sustained by effort alone, not by endless giving, not by proving, not by trying to be everything at once. It is sustained by balance. And when this realization settles in your body, something subtle but irreversible begins to change. I want you to feel this moment now. Take a slow breath. Let the noise of expectation soften. Because becoming the woman men never get tired of loving has nothing to do with chasing admiration, and everything to do with the way you inhabit yourself. For a long time, you may have believed that warmth means availability, that care means self-sacrifice, that being loving requires constant emotional presence. But love does not grow where there is no tension, no depth, no inner gravity. As Carl Jung said, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. And transformation requires polarity. It requires both closeness and space. A woman who is endlessly warm but never anchored in herself becomes predictable, and predictability slowly dulls desire. Not because she lacks value, but because her energy has no rhythm, no pause, no mystery. Warmth without self-containment turns into emotional exhaustion, both for her and for the one who loves her. And yet, coldness is not the answer. Distance without presence creates insecurity, not devotion. This is where emotional confidence enters, the quiet knowing that you do not need to explain yourself to be chosen, that your affection is a gift, not a plea. Emotional confidence is felt, not announced. It lives in how you listen without absorbing, how you give without overextending, how you remain open without dissolving into another person's needs. Men do not grow tired of loving a woman who knows when to lean in and when to remain centered. They grow tired when love feels either like pressure or like emptiness. Balance is what keeps love awake. Balance is what keeps attraction alive. In Jung's view, the unconscious responds not to words, but to energy. And your energy changes the moment you stop trying to be unforgettable and start being fully present with yourself. This is where the journey begins. Not with strategy, not with performance, but with the quiet strength of a woman who knows she can be warm without losing herself, mysterious without playing games, confident without closing her heart. This is only the first step. And already, something within you is remembering who you were before love became effort instead of expression. There is a kind of warmth that soothes, and there is a kind of warmth that drains. Many women were taught to confuse the two. You learned early that being loving meant being accommodating, that being kind meant being endlessly understanding, that being desirable meant being emotionally available at all times. But over time, this version of warmth begins to cost you something invisible but vital, your inner steadiness. I want you to notice something important. The women men never get tired of loving are not the ones who give the most. They are the ones who give from fullness. Their warmth is not anxious. It does not chase reassurance. It does not ask to be chosen. It flows naturally, like light from a flame that is well protected. As Carl Jung observed, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. And the darkness here is subtle, the fear that if you stop giving, you will stop being loved. This fear quietly pushes you to overextend, to explain too much, to soothe emotions that are not yours to carry. And slowly, without realizing it, your warmth turns into labor. True warmth has boundaries. It knows when to say yes and when to remain silent. It allows others to come toward you instead of constantly moving toward them. This kind of warmth feels safe, not consuming. It invites presence instead of dependency. And men feel this difference immediately, even if they cannot explain it. A woman who preserves herself does not become colder. She becomes clearer. Her affection feels intentional, not automatic. When she gives attention, it feels chosen. When she listens, it feels grounded. When she cares, it feels genuine rather than obligatory. And this creates a powerful emotional response, appreciation instead of entitlement. Jung believed that relationships awaken the unconscious patterns we carry. When you give too much, you awaken the part of the other that takes without awareness. But when you give with balance, you awaken respect. You invite maturity. You allow love to become an exchange rather than a drain. This is where emotional confidence quietly forms. You begin to trust that you are lovable even in stillness, even when you pause, even when you do not rush to fill every silence. And in that pause, something remarkable happens. The connection deepens. Because warmth that does not exhaust you is warmth that endures. And endurance, more than intensity, is what keeps love alive. Many women misunderstand mystery. They think it means withholding, playing roles, disappearing to provoke desire. But that kind of mystery is fragile. It depends on reaction. The mystery that makes love endure comes from depth, not strategy. It comes from having an inner life that does not revolve around being seen. A woman becomes unforgettable not when she hides, but when she is not fully predictable. And predictability is not about honesty. It is about emotional overexposure. When every thought is shared, every feeling explained, every reaction immediate, the connection loses its symbolic charge. Jung would say that the psyche needs symbols, not saturation. The soul loves mystery, he wrote, because mystery keeps meaning alive. Mystery is what remains when you stop narrating yourself, when you allow pauses, when you do not rush to define everything, when your silence is not punishment, but presence. This kind of mystery feels calm, not manipulative. It creates curiosity because it reflects self-containment. Men do not get tired of loving women who still belong to themselves. Not because those women are distant, but because their inner world is not fully accessible on demand. There is something profoundly attractive about a woman who does not collapse into explanation, who trusts that she does not need to translate her every emotion to remain connected. In Jung's view, attraction lives at the border between the known and the unknown. When everything is known, desire falls asleep. When everything is hidden, trust cannot form. Balance lives in between. You allow closeness, but you keep something sacred, your inner rhythm, your private reflections, your quiet processing. Mystery also means allowing others to approach you emotionally instead of doing all the reaching yourself. It means letting questions remain unanswered until they naturally unfold. It means trusting that you do not need to perform accessibility to be worthy of love. And something subtle happens when you embody this depth. Conversations slow down. Attention sharpens. Presence increases. Because now, connection is no longer consumption. It is discovery. A woman with depth does not need to be dramatic to be memorable. Her calm carries weight. Her pauses speak. Her presence lingers long after she leaves the room. This is not absence. This is gravity. And gravity is what keeps love orbiting, not burning out. There is a quality that men feel long before they understand it. It is not beauty, not charm, not intensity. It is emotional confidence, the quiet steadiness of a woman who is not trying to secure love, but is open to receiving it. This confidence does not announce itself. It settles into the room softly, like certainty that does not need proof. Emotional confidence is born the moment you stop reacting to everything. When not every delay feels personal. When not every shift in tone feels like a threat. When you trust yourself enough to stay present without bracing for loss. Jung believed that what unsettles us in relationships often belongs to our own unconscious fear of abandonment. And when that fear rules, love becomes restless. A woman who is emotionally confident does not grip. She does not interrogate closeness. She allows affection to move naturally, without tightening around it. And this creates a rare experience for a man, emotional safety without emotional pressure. He feels free, yet deeply connected, seen, but not managed. This confidence shows itself in small ways. In how you do not rush to respond. in how you allow misunderstandings to resolve without panic, in how you remain grounded even when emotions rise. You do not suppress feelings. You simply trust yourself to hold them without spilling them everywhere. Jung spoke of individuation as the process of becoming whole. Emotional confidence is a sign of this wholeness. You no longer look to love to complete you. And paradoxically, this is when love becomes strongest, because now connection is a choice, not a necessity. Men do not get tired of loving women who feel emotionally stable, not because those women are unfeeling, but because their presence is restful. Their emotions have weight, not chaos. Their affection feels sincere, not urgent. And when you live from this place, something profound happens. Love stops feeling like something you must protect and starts feeling like something that can breathe. Love does not fade because of time. It fades because of saturation. When everything is always available, always explained, always emotionally present, desire slowly loses its pulse. What keeps love alive is rhythm, the natural movement between closeness and space, engagement and withdrawal, giving and returning to oneself. Many women fear absence. They associate it with rejection, distance, or emotional loss. So they stay constantly present, constantly attentive, constantly involved. But Jung understood something essential about the psyche. It needs contrast to remain conscious. Without tension, he implied, there is no transformation. And without tension, there is no lasting attraction. The woman men never get tired of loving understands this intuitively. She knows that stepping back is not abandonment, it is self-connection. Her absence is not cold, it is full. When she leaves a conversation, a room, or a moment, she takes her presence with her instead of leaving it behind. This rhythm shows itself in how you do not linger emotionally when something is complete. You do not overstay moments. You allow encounters to end while they still feel alive. You do not squeeze meaning out of every interaction. And because of this, your presence is remembered instead of consumed. Men respond deeply to this rhythm because it awakens desire without anxiety. They feel space to miss you, space to reflect, space to move toward you rather than being met halfway every time. And this movement is crucial because desire grows where effort flows naturally. Jung spoke of the masculine and feminine as psychological principles, not roles. One moves outward, the other holds inward. When you constantly move toward a man emotionally, you disrupt this balance. But when you allow space, you restore polarity. And polarity is what keeps attraction alive long after novelty fades. This does not mean withdrawing love. It means letting love breathe. It means trusting that what is real does not disappear in silence. It deepens. It matures. It waits. And when you master this rhythm, something powerful happens. You are no longer trying to be unforgettable. You simply are. There is a moment in a woman's inner evolution when self-respect stops being something she defends and becomes something she simply lives. This is the moment attraction changes its nature. It no longer comes from pleasing, adjusting, or proving. It comes from alignment, from coherence between who you are and how you allow yourself to be treated. Men never get tired of loving a woman whose self-respect is quiet but immovable, not because she demands admiration, but because her standards are embedded in her behavior. She does not threaten to leave. She does not explain what she deserves. She naturally gravitates away from what cannot meet her. Jung believed that what we tolerate reveals our unconscious self-image. When you accept inconsistency, neglect, or emotional ambiguity, you unconsciously confirm that this is what you believe you are worth. But when you shift internally, when you no longer negotiate your emotional dignity, the world adjusts, especially the men who wish to stay close to you. This kind of self-respect is deeply calming. You stop overanalyzing tone, timing, and intention. You observe instead of reacting. You respond instead of chasing. And this inner stillness does something powerful. It removes emotional chaos from the connection. A woman grounded in self-respect does not punish. She does not test. She does not withdraw to provoke desire. She simply does not participate in dynamics that erode her. And this clarity is magnetic because it forces honesty. Either the relationship rises, or it reveals its limits. Men feel this immediately. They sense that access to you is no longer automatic. Not because you are distant, but because you are selective. And selectivity signals value more clearly than any declaration ever could. Jung spoke of the shadow, the parts of ourselves we avoid seeing. When you embody self-respect, you confront the shadow in others without confrontation. Immaturity becomes visible. Emotional inconsistency becomes obvious. And maturity, when it exists, steps forward. This is why men who are capable of depth do not tire of loving such a woman. Loving her makes them better, more conscious, more present. And those who cannot rise quietly fall away. And for the first time, love no longer feels like endurance. It feels like resonance. There is a center within you that no relationship should replace. When a woman loses connection to this center, love becomes her axis, and everything begins to orbit the other person. This is where imbalance begins, not loudly, but quietly. And this is also where attraction slowly dissolves. The woman men never get tired of loving is anchored somewhere deeper than romance. Her life does not pause when love enters it. Her interests, values, inner movement continue to exist independently, not as a defense, but as a fact. She does not abandon herself to be chosen. Jung would describe this center as the self, the organizing core of the psyche. When you live from this place, relationships no longer define you. They accompany you. And this distinction changes everything. Love becomes an addition, not a replacement. Men feel this immediately. They sense that being with you does not mean consuming you. It means joining you. And this creates respect, because nothing is more tiring than being someone else's emotional foundation. But being invited into a woman's already full life? That feels like privilege. This center shows itself in subtle ways. In how you do not wait to live. In how you do not suspend joy, growth, or direction for someone's attention. In how your happiness is not dependent on reassurance. You welcome love, but you do not lean on it to stand. There is something profoundly attractive about a woman whose life energy flows inward first, outward second. Her presence feels grounded. Her choices feel intentional. Her affection feels real, because it is not born from emptiness. Jung believed that when we place another person at the center of our psyche, we turn them into a burden instead of a partner. Love becomes heavy. Expectations multiply. Resentment grows quietly. But when you remain centered in yourself, love stays light, curious, alive. And this is why men do not tire of loving such a woman. She does not need to be entertained constantly. She does not demand emotional labor. She shares joy instead of sourcing it. She is not waiting to be fulfilled. She is already moving. And love is simply invited to walk beside her. There is a quiet truth many women discover too late. Men do not leave because a woman lacks depth, loyalty, or care. They leave when love becomes emotionally heavy. When connection starts to feel like responsibility instead of desire. And this weight is never created by love itself, but by imbalance. The woman men never get tired of loving does not make love a task. She does not require constant reassurance to feel secure. She does not turn closeness into obligation. Her presence feels light, even when emotions are deep. And this is rare. Jung believed that relationships fail not because of lack of feeling, but because unconscious needs turn partners into functions. When you need a man to regulate your emotions, confirm your worth, or stabilize your inner world, love becomes work. And work, no matter how meaningful, eventually exhausts desire. An effortless woman is not passive. She is emotionally responsible. She feels deeply, but she processes inwardly before projecting outward. She does not demand to be constantly understood. She trusts that what is real does not need constant reinforcement. This is why she is remembered. Because interactions with her leave emotional space instead of depletion. After being with her, a man feels more himself, not less. More calm, more alive, more clear, and the psyche remembers what restores it. Jung would say that the unconscious seeks balance. When a woman brings emotional balance into a man's life, not by fixing him, but by being grounded herself, she becomes associated with peace. And peace is addictive in a world full of tension. Men may desire intensity, but they stay where there is harmony. They may chase excitement, but they return to stability. And a woman who carries warmth, mystery, and emotional confidence without effort becomes irreplaceable, not because she tries to be, but because she cannot be replicated. She does not compete. She does not compare. She does not perform. She simply remains aligned with herself. And this alignment makes her unforgettable. There is a subtle but decisive shift that changes how love lives in your life. It happens when love stops being the question you are trying to answer and becomes an experience you allow. Until this moment, relationships tend to define your emotional weather. A good interaction lifts you. Distance unsettles you. Silence disturbs your sense of self. And without realizing it, love becomes a mirror you constantly look into to understand who you are. The woman men never get tired of loving has stepped beyond this stage. Love is important to her, but it is no longer her axis. Her identity does not shrink or expand depending on how loved she feels. And this internal shift creates a kind of freedom that is deeply felt by anyone close to her. Jung described this as a movement away from projection. When we place our sense of meaning onto another person, we burden them with the task of giving us identity. But when we reclaim that meaning, love becomes lighter, cleaner, more real. It no longer has to prove anything. This woman does not disappear into relationships. She remains herself within them. Her opinions do not dissolve. Her inner world does not pause. Her life continues to unfold with or without constant affirmation. And this independence does not distance her. It stabilizes her. Men feel relief in her presence. Relief because they are not responsible for her emotional survival. Relief because they can love without fear of failing at an impossible role. Relief because connection feels mutual rather than compensatory. And paradoxically, this is when devotion deepens. Because love that is freely given, not required, carries more weight. A man chooses her again and again not because he is needed, but because he wants to be there. Jung believed that true relationship begins when two whole individuals meet, not when two needs cling together. And when you live from wholeness, love becomes a shared journey instead of a rescue mission. At this stage, something profound settles in you. You no longer fear being too much or not enough. You no longer adjust your essence to remain chosen. You trust that love aligned with your truth will stay, and love that requires self-abandonment was never meant to. And this trust changes the emotional climate completely. At the end of this journey, something becomes clear, not as an idea, but as a feeling settling gently inside you. Becoming the woman men never get tired of loving is not about mastering behavior. It is about returning to yourself so fully that love no longer costs you your essence. You are not loved deeply because you adapt perfectly. You are loved deeply because you are present without pressure, warm without self-erasure, mysterious without distance, confident without defense. And this combination cannot be imitated because it is not a technique, it is a state of being. Jung said that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And when you live from this truth, love stops being something you maintain and starts being something that naturally stays. You no longer ask how to hold a man's attention. You ask how to remain aligned with yourself. And alignment does the rest. Men do not tire of loving a woman who does not drain herself to be chosen. They do not tire of loving a woman whose affection feels voluntary, whose presence feels grounding, whose absence feels full rather than anxious. They do not tire of loving a woman who brings peace without demanding surrender. This woman does not cling to love. She allows it. She does not fear loss, because she knows she will not lose herself again. And this inner safety becomes the most powerful emotional invitation there is. You were never meant to exhaust yourself for connection. You were meant to meet someone from wholeness. And when you do, love stops feeling fragile. It becomes steady, curious, alive. So as you sit with these words, let one truth anchor itself within you. You do not need to become more lovable. You need to become more yourself. And when you do, love no longer fades, it deepens.